Have you ever felt like your mind is working against you? No matter how hard you try, you find yourself stuck in negative thoughts, overwhelmed by worries, or trapped in endless self-doubt. It's as if your own mind is holding you back from happiness and peace. This struggle is not unique to you. It's a common human experience. More than 2,500 years ago, the Buddha observed this very nature of the mind and taught that an untrained mind can be our worst enemy. However, he also showed us a way to transform it into our greatest ally. The good news is that suffering is not inevitable. We have the power to free ourselves by understanding how our mind works and learning how to guide it toward clarity and peace. In this video, we will explore why the Buddha said that your mind is your worst enemy and uncover the hidden ways our thoughts, attachments, and fears create suffering. We will also discuss how we can take control of our minds through mindfulness, meditation, and the Eightfold Path, transforming them from a source of struggle into a tool for wisdom and inner peace. At TT-Buddhism, our mission is to share Buddhist teachings in a simple, practical way, helping you cultivate mindfulness, overcome suffering, and live a more peaceful and fulfilled life. Whether you are new to Buddhism or looking to deepen your understanding, our content is designed to inspire and guide you on your journey. If you find value in these insights, consider subscribing to TT-Buddhism and joining our growing community. Now, let's begin exploring the nature of the mind and how we can master it for a more enlightened and peaceful life. The power of the mind. Our mind is the most powerful force that shapes our reality. Every thought, emotion, and action is influenced by the state of our mind. Whether we experience happiness or suffering depends not on external circumstances, but on how our mind perceives and reacts to them. The Buddha taught that the mind can be our greatest ally, leading us to peace, wisdom, and enlightenment, or it can be our worst enemy, keeping us trapped in cycles of stress, fear, and dissatisfaction. The key difference lies in whether we control our mind or allow it to control us. An untrained mind is restless and chaotic, constantly jumping from one thought to another, much like a wild monkey swinging from branch to branch. This concept, often referred to as the monkey mind, explains why many of us struggle with overthinking, anxiety, and emotional instability. Our thoughts wander between past regrets and future worries, preventing us from being fully present in the here and now. Have you ever found yourself lying in bed, unable to sleep because your mind is replaying old mistakes or imagining worst-case scenarios? This is the mind working against us, creating unnecessary suffering. The Buddha compared the untrained mind to a stormy ocean, constantly churning, unpredictable, and difficult to navigate. When we allow our minds to be consumed by negative thoughts, fears, and desires, we lose clarity and inner peace. We become easily affected by external situations, reacting impulsively rather than responding wisely. Instead of seeing things as they truly are, our perception is clouded by emotions and biases, leading us to make decisions that may cause more suffering. However, just as an untamed fire can destroy, a well-controlled fire can provide warmth and light. The same applies to our mind. When we learn to calm and train our mind through mindfulness and self-awareness, we can transform it from a source of suffering into a tool for peace and wisdom. The first step is recognizing that our thoughts do not define us. They are merely passing mental events. When we stop identifying with every thought, we gain the ability to observe them without being controlled by them. By understanding the power of the mind, we take the first step toward freeing ourselves from unnecessary suffering. In the next section, we will explore how attachment and desire keep us trapped in cycles of pain and dissatisfaction, and how we can break free from them. The root of suffering, attachment and desire. One of the fundamental teachings of the Buddha is that suffering arises from attachment and desire. As human beings, we naturally seek happiness and try to avoid pain. We become attached to people, material possessions, and experiences, believing they will bring us lasting joy. However, this attachment creates suffering because everything in life is impermanent. When we cling to things that are constantly changing, we inevitably experience loss, disappointment, and frustration. The Buddha called this craving tanha, which means thirst or intense longing. It is the constant desire for more success, more money, more love, more recognition. When we achieve something, we feel happy for a short time, but soon the mind starts craving something else. This endless cycle of wanting and chasing leads to dissatisfaction because we never feel completely fulfilled. We are always looking for happiness outside of ourselves, attaching it to things we cannot fully control. But life is unpredictable. People change, relationships end, material things decay, and circumstances evolve. The more we base our happiness on things that are temporary, the more we suffer. A powerful analogy in Buddhism is the rope and the snake. Imagine walking in the dark and suddenly seeing a snake on the ground. You panic, your heart races, and fear takes over. But when you shine a light, you realize it was just a rope all along. The fear and suffering were created by your mind's misperception of reality. In the same way, our attachments and desires cause suffering because we believe they will bring us security and happiness, when, in reality, they only create fear and anxiety about losing them. The path to freedom begins with letting go. Letting go does not mean we should not care or enjoy life, but rather we should not become so attached that our happiness depends on things outside of us. True peace comes from within, not from external circumstances. When we loosen our grip on our desires and accept the impermanence of life, we reduce our suffering. Instead of seeking fulfillment in things that will eventually change, we can cultivate inner peace and contentment. By understanding attachment and desire, we take a significant step toward breaking free from suffering. In the next section, we will explore another major cause of mental distress, the illusion of control, and how learning to accept uncertainty can lead to greater peace. The illusion of control. One of the greatest sources of human suffering is the illusion of control. We often believe that if we can control our thoughts, emotions, environment, and even the people around us, we will find security and peace. However, this desire for control is one of the main reasons we experience frustration and disappointment. The more we try to control everything, the more we realize how little control we actually have, leading to stress, anxiety, and suffering. The Buddha taught that everything in life is impermanent. People change, circumstances shift, and nothing remains the same forever. Despite this truth, we resist change because it makes us feel uncertain and vulnerable. We want life to follow our expectations, but reality rarely aligns with our desires. This resistance creates tension between what we want and what actually is, leading to a constant state of dissatisfaction. For example, we try to control our relationships by expecting people to act in certain ways, but when they don't, we feel hurt or betrayed. We try to control our careers, but unexpected challenges arise. We try to control our emotions, but thoughts and feelings come and go without our permission. A well-known Buddhist analogy compares this struggle to swimming against a strong river current. If we resist the flow, we become exhausted and frustrated. But if we let go and move with the current, we find ease and peace. In life, suffering often comes from resisting things that are beyond our control. True freedom is not about manipulating life to fit our desires, but about learning to accept and flow with whatever comes our way. Letting go of control does not mean we stop making efforts or take a passive approach to life. Instead, it means understanding what we can control and what we cannot. We can control our actions, thoughts, and attitudes, but we cannot control the actions and emotions of others or the ever-changing nature of life. The key is to focus on what is within our power while accepting and adapting to what is beyond it. By releasing the illusion of control, we open ourselves to greater peace and clarity. In the next section, we will explore how mindfulness, meditation, and the Eightfold Path can help us train our minds and break free from suffering. How to train the mind. Understanding that our mind can be the source of suffering is only the first step. The next and most important step is learning how to train the mind so that it becomes our greatest ally instead of our worst enemy. The Buddha provided a clear path for achieving this transformation through mindfulness, meditation, and the Eightfold Path. These practices help us develop self-awareness, inner peace, and the ability to navigate life with wisdom rather than being controlled by emotions and attachments. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, observing thoughts and emotions without becoming attached to them. Often, our suffering does not come from the present moment itself, but from thoughts about the past or worries about the future. When we practice mindfulness, we become aware of these mental patterns and learn to detach from them, rather than allowing them to dictate our emotions and actions. To integrate mindfulness into daily life, we can start by paying full attention to simple actions: eating, walking, listening, or even breathing. When a negative thought arises, instead of reacting to it, simply acknowledge it and let it pass. Over time, mindfulness helps us break free from automatic unconscious reactions and develop a greater sense of inner calm. Another powerful tool for training the mind is meditation, which allows us to develop concentration, clarity, and emotional stability. When we meditate, we create a space of stillness where we can observe our thoughts without being controlled by them. This practice helps reduce mental chatter, increase self-awareness, and cultivate inner peace. A simple meditation technique is to focus on the breath. Find a quiet place, sit comfortably, and bring your attention to each inhale and exhale. When your mind starts to wander, which it naturally will, gently bring it back to the breath. The goal is not to eliminate thoughts, but to develop the ability to observe them without attachment. Practicing for even 5-10 minutes a day can significantly improve focus, emotional balance, and overall well-being. Beyond mindfulness and meditation, the Buddha taught that the way to liberate the mind from suffering is through the Eightfold Path, a set of principles guiding us toward wisdom, ethical conduct, and mental discipline. This path consists of right understanding, seeing reality as it is, not as we want it to be. Right intention, cultivating thoughts of kindness, compassion, and wisdom. Right speech, speaking truthfully and avoiding harmful words. Right action, acting with integrity and non-harming. Right livelihood, earning a living ethically and mindfully. Right effort, letting go of unwholesome thoughts and nurturing positive ones. Right mindfulness, being aware of our thoughts, feelings, and action. And right concentration, developing deep focus and mental clarity through meditation. By following this path, we gradually transform our minds and break free from patterns of suffering. Instead of being ruled by emotions, desires, and attachments, we develop a mind that is calm, clear, and compassionate. Training the mind is a lifelong practice, but every small step we take brings us closer to true peace and wisdom. In the next section, we will conclude with the key lessons learned and how we can apply them in daily life to cultivate a more enlightened and peaceful existence. Throughout this journey, we have explored how the mind can be both our greatest enemy and our most powerful ally. The Buddha taught that suffering does not come from external circumstances, but from within, our own attachments, desires, and illusions of control. When we allow the mind to wander aimlessly, consumed by worries, fears, and expectations, we create unnecessary suffering. However, by understanding the nature of the mind, we can take the first step toward transformation. The key to overcoming this suffering lies in mindfulness, meditation, and the Eightfold Path. Through mindfulness, we learn to observe our thoughts without becoming attached to them. Meditation helps us develop clarity, focus, and emotional balance, creating a space of inner peace. By following the Eightfold Path, we cultivate wisdom, ethical living, and mental discipline, gradually freeing ourselves from the patterns that keep us trapped in suffering. This transformation does not happen overnight, but every small step we take brings us closer to a more peaceful, enlightened way of living. The journey to mastering the mind is not about achieving perfection, but about progressing with awareness and patience. Each moment presents an opportunity to practice mindfulness, let go of attachments, and embrace the present. At TT-Buddhism, we are honored to share these timeless teachings with you. Our mission is to bring Buddhist wisdom into everyday life, helping you cultivate mindfulness, inner peace, and true happiness. If you found this video valuable, we invite you to subscribe to our channel and continue exploring these teachings with us. Thank you for watching, and may peace, wisdom, and compassion guide you on your journey.